So let's try this again. This is the second time I filmed this video. I filmed a really bright look yesterday and stuff, and I went to edit the rest of the footage with the talking bit. I just couldn't speak. So the demo part is going to be my rainbow-ish look, and I used, you know, quite a bit of colors so that I could give you guys a good idea of how a lot of the shadows worked in one shot. But anyway, what I'm talking about is I picked up the Makeup Forever 30 Artist, 30 Years, 30 Shades. It's their 30th anniversary set that Sephora just recently released, and it's 30 of their newest eyeshadows from the 210 that they reformulated and recently launched. And when I get into it, they do come in 5 different finishes. So the shadows do come in 5 different finishes, and then they have like the acronym for the finish followed by a number, and it's not like a number 1 through 210, it's like a number randomness, so it's kind of hard to remember the numbers because they don't have names, which consumer wise it would have been a bit more handy to have like a name so that we could remember, because it's going to be kind of difficult to remember that array of numbers, because there's some that are like in the 5 something, 500 something, and whatever. But the finishes are I iridescent, M for matte, S for satin, ME for metallic, and D for diamond, and they're all followed by that number. So this is what the box, the actual palette comes in looks like, and then inside of the box it comes all neatly packaged up. Phoebe is, I don't know what she's doing, so ignore the noise. Anyway, there's a card in there that lists the shades. It's a 3-tier palette type thing with smoky, neutral, and then artistic, which I'll show you those in a minute. But this is the indicator kind of where the placement of the shadows is that I'll be referring to when I show you guys swatches, which is really handy because otherwise I would have to pop them all out of the deal. And then there also is a pamphlet inside of there. It looks like this, and it has got the 30 artists that individually picked out each shade that is going into the palette. So it's kind of a nice little guide there. So this is what the actual palette looks like. It's kind of got a faux leather feel to it. It's all nicely put together inside as well with some covers. This is the plastic sheet that comes on top, which I picked up a few singles when I was in store, and I've just kind of been sitting them in here because there is like a little bit of room to keep the little palettes, which I'll show you those in a minute. In here you have got the tiers. This is the top tray, and it is called the smoky one, and then the second tray is the neutral, and then the one on the very bottom is called the artistic layer, I guess. I really like that these, you know, are removable, but they could have made the one in the bottom removable as well. I think that would have been handy since these ones are removable instead of having to hold like the whole box because the lid is attached. But those are the 3 tiers that come inside of the palette like that. And then the shades are removable. There is a little tiny hole next to it, which you can pry them out and either put them in the Z palette or put them in the individual palettes. They come in a single, duos, and trios that they have made for their whole new system, and then I think they make great big palettes as well, but they can pop out. I use a tack because the little hole is pretty small and it doesn't come with any type of special tool to get them out, so I've just been prying them out with a tack. And then on the back there is the name of the finish and the shade number. So now, as far as the actual shadows go, I do like them. I think that they have great pigmentation, they blend really nice, and they're really buildable, which is really nice. And the matte shades, those perform like kind of a traditional powder eyeshadow. Some of them kick up a little bit of powder product, but again, they are mattes. They have a little bit thinner texture than the Viseart palettes, which I really love, which I've learned that it's pronounced Viseart and not Vizard. But I do prefer my Viseart mattes over these ones, although these are some of the nicer mattes that I've used. Out of all of the finishes, I think that I like the satins the best. I do quite like all of them, but there is a little bit of a nitpicky thing that I have with some of them. The ones that feel kind of like a gel texture to them, that they're heavy. They have a heavy filler in them, and then a kaolin clay and dimethicone in them, which are some really slick, kind of almost tacky ingredients, which allows them to pump them full of that pigment and not get like fallout or anything, which is really awesome. But there's just one thing that I don't like about some of them. Now, not all of them have done this to me, but a few of them have, and I'll show you what I mean here. Some of the shades, and this is with using a brush, have formed almost, it's like borderline hard pan. It's like a filmy glaze over the top. And the more you swirl your brush around, sometimes the more that surface is created. If I rub my finger on it, it'll go away, but it'll come off kind of in chunks. And that's not all of them, but I've experienced that with a couple of them. This one, that one, this purple's kind of got a little bit of a film on it there. Now that's just a little gripe that I have. I don't like that the shadows do that. It's not visually appealing. And then sometimes too, if you're somebody who likes to dip your shadows kind of artistically into different shades, if you had a little bit of shadow left from one color on the brush, like just remnants, and swirl into another, that color will transfer to the surface of that other shadow. The other little bit that turns me off about that is that's a characteristic that I've experienced in a lot of really cheap eyeshadow, that covering of, or that glaze over the top, and that does hinder the amount of product that's going to be picked up on your brush the next time you go into it when there's that glaze. Like the one of the peach shades that I've been using quite a bit, I really have to swirl my brush around in the product to get enough on my brush to apply to the eye, whereas if I went in with my finger, it would come, you know, and rub on it, it would come off, and then that glaze would come off kind of in chunks a little bit. The thing that doesn't do though is hinder the performance once you get the eyeshadows on the eye. I think that they all perform really good. Some of the more iridescent shades I really had to stuff my brush into, like these two shades. For instance, here you can see a little bit of purple has transferred onto this particular shade, which and it's got a little bit of that glaze on there. It's just something that I don't like, because it does remind me of a cheaper eyeshadow, and these are really expensive. But as far as getting them on the eyes, it doesn't hinder the performance. They blend really nice. They're easy to work with on the eye, and there's minimal fallout. But I do want you guys to be aware of that fact, and I kind of find that most with the iridescent and the metallic shades. That's kind of been happening to a couple of those shades. Hopefully you guys can see in the swatches kind of what they look like. But for the most part, I'm pretty pleased. There's 210 shadows, and when I finally get myself to a full display of all 210, I'm probably going to go a little cray-cray. So far they've been working really nice for me on the eye. They're a little bit different to work with than other shadows, excluding the powder mattes. I think those are more like a traditional eyeshadow. The other ones take a little bit of getting used to, because when you put your brush in there, because of the texture, it's a little difficult to tell how much product you're getting on your brush. Sometimes, depending on what shade you're going into, you'll get like just a little dab will pick up a load of product, and other shades you really have to swirl it in there to pick up a lot of product, if that makes sense. So it's just a little bit of getting used to, but again, I really like the overall performance that they have on the actual eye. The eye looks come out really, really nice. Then too, if you were to buy them singularly, you can buy the little compacts like this for $1. You can get each, the trio or the duos or the singles are $1. And then if you want to get the shadows with them, if you get 4, it's $44. I can't remember the price of the duo. You get 2 shadows and the case for, I want to say it's somewhere around $30 some. And then you pay $21 for a single, and then an extra $1 for this right here. Sephora online has got a list of their pricing and stuff like that. But the more you buy up to a trio, the better deal you get, kind of situation. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch the ones that are in the palette, and then I'm going to go ahead and swatch the 4 that I have bought individually for you guys. So this is the first layer that comes in the box, and this is called the smoky I guess layer, and I'll name these off for you guys, and then I'm going to swatch them. This one here is M100 matte 100. This here is D104, which would be diamond 104, ME310 metallic 310. This one is D320, which would be diamond again. And this one here is ME108, which would be a metallic. And down here we have got ME624. This is M618. This one is ME930. This one is ME654. And this last one is I606. So that is the first layer. Let me go ahead and swatch these for you guys. There are those first 4. Then I'll do this one, this one, this one, and this one. So you see how far they like travel, which is crazy. And then these last two. Here is the second layer in the box. This one here is the neutral layer, I guess you'd say. So here we have I550. This one is M548. This one is M536, M532, ME122. And then this one right here is M636. This one is I662. This one is D640. This one is ME512. And then this last one here is D868. So do you guys see this shade right here? You see that film over it right there? There, you can kind of see it right there. That's what I was talking about with those. And I use those with a brush, and it seemed like the brush tended to create more of this type of a film over those shades than anything. But I do want you guys to see that. It drives me crazy, I don't know. So let's swatch these here. Here's this one. Do this one. And then these last two. This one here you have ME400. This one is I746. This one is S852. This one is S742. This one is I922. And then over here you have D206, I340, ME304, ME230, and I22 right there. And then it does say on here that 4 of the shades in here are blushes. Now these are showing a really true to color in the palette. These 4 shades right here is what they're saying can be used as blusher. That film on this shadow, it drives me bonkers. Now we'll do these ones. I really like this blue shade. It's a diamond one. I like the diamonds quite a bit. This one here is forming that pan over the top of it as well. And now here are the last two. Right there. Real quick too, let me swatch the ones that I purchased separately at Sephora that are not in the palette. This is Makeup Forever S556, so it would be a satin. A really pretty shade there. And then this one right here is M500. It is a matte. And then this one right here is S814. And then this one right here is I872. So I've been having a lot of fun with the shadows. I just have that one little gripe about that surface of what is happening to some of them. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking up some more of them. So I've been enjoying the eye looks that have come out of them and the performance on the actual eye, although I had to work with them a little bit different depending on the shadow with my brush. So now if you're interested in seeing a demo of like a really colorful rainbow type of look, like I just started dipping into all kinds of shadows, and I thought it came out pretty nice. But you can see how some of the shades work and stuff like that. You can hang tight and we will get into it right now. I'm just going to start off by priming my lids from the lash line up to underneath the brow with the NYX or NYX High Definition Eyeshadow Base. I just got this and the ingredients look kind of possibly hydrating, so I've been trying it out, but I'm just going to use a little bit of this because some of these shadows, like, you could probably get away without using a primer at all. I have like no direction here. I'm just going to start dipping in and see what happens here. In any event, I'm going to pick up this shimmery white shade right here on a Goss number 18 brush, and I'm going to just pack this all over the lid. And it's just a shimmery white shade. Now on that same Goss 18 brush, I'm going to pick up a dash of this deep purple right here, just a dash of it on the tip of that brush. And I'm going to go ahead and go over the white with that so we get kind of a light purple shade. Pick up a dash more here. Yeah. I think I'm going to get a little bit wild here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up just a tiny bit of this blue shade right here on a Chikuhodo GSN 10 brush. I'm just going to pick up a dash of that. A little bit of the shimmery type shades goes a long way. I'm just going to put this right in the crease. And I'll probably end up going back in with that after a minute, but just a tiny bit right there. Now on that same brush, I just kind of dusted it off on a towel. I'm going to go in with the green shade right here that was next to that blue. Again, just a tiny bit of product on that brush. And I'm going to go along the edges of the blue shade we put down. Pick up a bit more here. Like, I'm just barely using the end of the brush, just barely touching the skin to buff that out. Otherwise you're going to get it's a little easy to get out of control with them. Kind of just like that. I'm just kind of laying them down, and then we'll go back in and intensify things as if this isn't intense enough already, I'm sure for some. But now on a Hakuhodo J5533 brush, I'm going to pick up this peachy shade right here on the edge of that. I'm going to kind of try to gather a bit of that on there, and I'm going to go ahead and blend out that greeny type of shadow. See what we end up with. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that peach shade. And then on a Chikuhodo GSN 07 brush, I'm going to pick up this matte beige shade right here. I'm going to pick up some of that, and I'm going to put that underneath the brow. Right here. And I'm going to blend it into the peach. Now I'm going to go back in and kind of intensify some stuff. I'm going to pick up this same shade right here on that Chikuhodo GSN 10 on the tip, and go back in with into the crease with this. Which these build really nicely, and I kind of feel like it's best to build them, I guess. So I'm just going to put a little bit more of that in the crease. Then I'm going to pick up the green shade again that's next to it here and do the same thing above that until I have kind of like the intensity that I want. And then on a cleaner brush that I have here, another GSN 10, I'm going to go into this bright lime green color. I'm going to pop that right here. Which I didn't put that down initially because I knew that those other shades were just kind of, it was going to kind of wash it out, so. Yes, 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 yes. That's what I was looking for. And now I'm going to go back in with that J5533 brush from Hakuhodo, and I'm going to pick up the peach again, which I really, in this particular shade, I do have to swirl it a lot into to get some product on it, unlike some of those other ones. And now I'm just going to intensify that peach. I'm going to go in with just a dash of this really, really deep blue over here on a Tom Ford number 13 brush. Just on the tip of that, I'm going to put that really, really directly into the crease here. Just to intensify that a little bit. I put on some lashes again because I quite like them. They're the same iconic ones that I chopped. Now I'm going to go in with the Charlitte Tilbury Lip Cheat, and I believe this one is in Pillow Talk. Again, her liners don't have the names printed on them, and I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with this and kind of slightly bring it in a bit. Now I'm going to fill them in with this Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Natural lipstick in the shade N21, which is a it's a really pretty peachy nude, I guess. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my lips with this. I wore this yesterday, this lip combo, and I really like it. That lip color is looking just a tiny bit pink, probably because I have that kind of orangey peach shade on the up here on the shadow. So this is something. This is how I am. I'm gonna take and pick up just a dash of this crazy pink color on that J553 brush from Hakuhodo, like just a dash. I'm going to I'm just gonna dab it right in this part right here. And it's going to put just enough pink in my eye look to go with my lips. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but so there's the overall finished look. Again, I was just toying around with as much colors and stuff, and hopefully you guys got an idea of how they performed and stuff. I just dipped into all kinds of stuff, and this is what what came out of it. So I hope that you found it helpful. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.